fell asleep during the Seder, and then they wake up, they can eat the Korban Pesach, yochlu. But if everyone fell asleep, kulan lo yochlu, you're not allowed to eat the Korban Pesach in two different places. So if everybody at the Seder fell asleep, then they all woke up and they want to eat the Korban Pesach later, they can't. Because it's as if they're eating it in two different places. Rabbi Yossi Yomer nisnamnu yochlu. Nisnamnu means they took a drimmel. They didn't take a full sleep, they took like a drowse. Near Demu, but if they really went to sleep, lo yochlu. Then another din, HaPesach achar chatzois b'taimis yadayim. They decreed a tumah because it's becomes noiser immediately after chatzois. Similarly, other cases that are not Pesach, pigul, where if somebody has a machshava, the kohen has a machshava during the shechita to eat of the Korban Pesach tomorrow, so the animal becomes pigul, or noiser, which is the meat was left over till the morning by regular korbanos, not the Korban Pesach. They also, Chazal introduced a gzeira of tumah, Rabbi Yossi Yomer nisnamnu yochlu near Demu lo yochlu, that if they took a nap, not a full sleep, they can eat. If they woke up, the Korban Pesach, but if they fell asleep, they can't. So the Gemara wants to define nisnamnu. Echidami nisnamnu. Omra Vashi, nim v'loy nim, tir v'loy tir. Sleeping he's not, awake he's not. He's like in a twilight. Go into Kari Leva Ane, for example, you say Walter, and he goes, yeah. I mean, he answers to his name, but he's not awake enough that he can respond and give you some kind of intelligent answer. However, if you remind him what was said, Mitkar, he remembers. Abai Yosef Kamei de Rabba. Abai was sitting in front of Rabba Chazad de Konimne. Abai saw that Rabba was dozing off. Omerlei, Mainim Kanoi Mar. Were you just dozing? Omerlei, yeah, Meinu Mekamanamne. Yeah, I'm not sleeping. It's just a doze. And therefore I'm allowed to eat the Korban Pesach. So a Pesach achar chatzois b'taimis yadayim. Alma mechatzois havalei noiser. Obviously, this Mandomer says that since you can't eat the Korban Pesach until chatzois, anything afterwards is considered noiser. Mantana on Rav Yosef from Yosef ben Azariah. The Tanya, it says, "V'achlus habasar b'layla zeh." You shall eat this meat, Korban Pesach, at this night. Rav Yosef ben Azariah nemer kan b'layla zeh. Nemer lahalan v'avarti be'eretz Yitzrayim b'layla zeh. There's a pasuk that says the Kodesh Baruch Hu is going to pass through that night and kill all the b'choros. Now, when did Makas b'choros take place? B'chatzois. Ma lahalan at chatzois. Avkan at chatzois. So here as well, by the Korban Pesach, you can't eat it beyond chatzois, and it's noiser afterwards. It says you eat it b'shas chipazon, which means ad shas chipazon. Now they left Pesach in haste in the morning, so Rabbi Kiva holds that the Korban Pesach could be eaten until the morning. In keimatam adlamer balayla. Well, if you could eat it up until the morning, why was there an emphasis balayla? Because Yachol Yenechel Kakochim Bayom. Well, maybe I would think you could eat it in the daytime, like other kochim. Balayla. Balayla unechel ben unechel bayom. Okay, that's Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva Haya Hazeh my Ovidle. So Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah uses Balayla Hazeh as a hekesh. So what does Rabbi Kiva do with this Hazeh? Meboyle lemute Laila acheru de asa. Because you might think, just like Korban Pesach is a kotche kalim. And another example of kotche kalim is a shlomim. Now, a shlomim can be eaten for 2 days and a night in between. So maybe the Korban Pesach, which you start eating at night, you could eat for a night, a day, and the following night. Right? Korban Pesach falls under the category of kotche kalim. Ushlomim kotche kalim. And shlamim is another example of kotche kalim. Ma shlamim necholim l'shnei yomim v'layla echad. you eat it for 2 days in an intervening night of Pesach. Maybe oikim leilos bimkom yomi. The nights take the place of the day. So I might think it could be eaten for the 2 nights and the intervening day. Because Rahman Hazeh to say, no, you only eat it balayla hazeh only. So Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah that uses Hazeh for the hekesh, to tell me that you can't eat it after Chatzos, what does he do? How does he learn this din that it's not should be like a shlamim? We learn that from a simple pasuk by the Korban Pesach, where it says, "Miloi soisira boiker nafkin." It says you may not leave it on, you may not leave it to the morning. So I know right away you only have one night to eat it. Rabbi Kiva Eloi because of Hazeh. Why? Without Hazeh, have a meaning my boiker sheni means could be the morning of the 16th, not the morning of the 15th. Meaning you get 2 nights and a day. So I had to see balayla hazeh to tell me no, only that night. What does Rabbi Elazar to say in response? Everywhere in the Torah where it says boiker, it means the first boiker, not the second boiker. Amar Rav. Well, what about if you eat matzah after chatzos? Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah lo yatzei dechavaso. Right? Rabbi Elazar connects, right? It says on matzois umrorim yachlu. And Rava wants to say that therefore, just like the Korban Pesach can't be eaten after chatzos, you can't eat matzah after chatzos. Or if you ate it after chatzos and you hadn't eaten it yet, you were not yotzei your mitzvah of matzah. Pshita. So the Gemara says pshita, given the yiskish lepesach kapesach nami. I mean, that's absolutely correct. Well, what's the chiddush there? Because Mao to say how afke krame kesha. Well, since remember we have a Rava himself says that matzah isn't learned from matzoi sumron yachlu, but you learn it from ba'erev tochlu matzahs from a different pasuk. So kamash one the chihadrei kolim so kamaisa hadrei. So they had to be. Now we go back to the original pasuk of a matzoi sumron yachlu to compare it to the Korban Pesach. So the Korban Shita Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, if you ate matzah after chatzos, you would not be yotzei your mitzvah of matzah. Then the Mishnah said, "Hapigel v'noiser metamis yadai." Pigel v'noiser metamis yadai. One is because we're suspicious of the Kohanim. No, they're lazy. We'll explain what this is. One of the Mandrim says that the shear, in order to be metami yadayim, is a kazayis. The chadam are kabeitz, and the other says it's the size of a kabeitz. Chad tanya pigol, chad tanya noiser. One is referring to pigol, one is referring to noiser. Man tanya pigol mishum chash dekuna. A Kohen, if he doesn't like somebody, so he will be mafagel that other person's korban on purpose to make the owners lose out. So therefore, to avoid this from happening, they were goizer a tumah. Because otherwise, if the Kohanim now touches this pigol, he becomes tummy, he can't do the avodah. So that's a disincentive for him to do that. And man that the Kohanim should not be lazy in eating what they're supposed to eat, because if they don't eat it, it's going to be leftover meat. It'll be a noiser. One says, for example, if you eat a kazayas of pigul or noiser, you get koretz. So therefore, the amount of pigul or noiser that gives you tum is also for the same shear that gives you the isser, gives you the tumah. It means usually food is only makabel tumah when you have the size of a kibetza. So therefore, pigul v'noiser will be the same thing. Mishnah.
So you're going to finish the, I don't know.
What was that?
You're going to finish the play today or what? You're going to finish
it again?
You're going to finish everything?
We're going to finish, yeah, because tonight is Kuf Chafalo.
Tonight is Kuf Tet. I mean, tonight is Kuf. Yes. don't know where you're
Let's stay
going.
ahead.
We're
Huh?
You want to
finishing.
start? You want to start the new Mesechta where nobody's on it, or you want to? Okay,
Tomorrow
that's fine.
morning.
But I'm just telling you, tomorrow is Kuf Kuf Kaf, and then on Monday is Kuf Kaf Aleph.
Wow, I did not know. You're sure?
I think so.
It's good to stay ahead. Because
You want to
remember,
double check? I may be right, or maybe
I know,
wrong.
but we
I don't know.
think about it, guys. Next week, we're going to fall behind because Shabbos, we can't learn by Zoom. And Sunday, we can't learn by Zoom. It's Pesach. But Sunday night, I guess we could learn.
No,
What's wrong with what's wrong with learning Shabbos afternoon? We could make up in somebody's house.
I have no problem if you want to do that.
We can learn outside. I mean, you can't. The whole of Pesach, what you're not going to learn for those Pesachs, you've got 5 different days. Huh?
It's a nice idea. It's a good idea. But meanwhile, I think we should stay ahead just in case.
I'm happy to stay ahead. But,
Yeah. So Kuf Chaf Aleph, Berach Birchas HaPesach. So when they ate the Korban Pesach, there was a special bracha. Asher Kiddushan B'Mitzosav Tzivanu Lechol HaPesach. Potar Es Shel Zevach. Now, gentlemen, remember we learned that Erev Pesach, they used to bring a Korban Chagiga called Chagiga Yudalit. That was the shlomim meat that they ate for their meal the Seder night. Remember, the Pesach was eaten as a dessert after they ate regular meat. The meat that they ate was the Korban Chagiga called the Chagiga Yudalit. Then the next day, on the day of Pesach, they would shecht the Chagiga Tezvav, the regular Korban Chagiga that is shechted every Yom. And that's the meat that they would eat on the day of Pesach. So this Mishnah is telling us that the bracha you make, V'tzivanu lechol HaPesach, will cover the bracha that you make for the Korban Chagiga Arba Asar, which is a pasuk Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvah lechol hazevach. However, Birech Ashol Zevach Loy Poter Shel Pesach. If you made the bracha ala Zevach, you'd have to go and make another bracha ala Pesach. That's Rabbi Shmuel. But Rabbi Kiva Loy Zu Poter Zu Loy Zu Poter Zu. Each one is its own. One bracha does not pater the other. In fact, the Rambam paskins like Rabbi Akiva. In fact, there is no halacha in Shulchan Aruch because this is all halachas for the future because we don't have the Beis Hamikdash. Only the Rambam gives us halacha based on the future. Shulchan Aruch didn't bother with that because he knew we're in Galus. We don't have the Beis Hamikdash, so we don't have psak halacha in Kodshim. The psak halacha we have in Kodshim is on the Rambam. So we pass like Rabbi Kiva that each Korban requires its own bracha, and one does not cover the other. So Kishatim Salom L'Divrei Shmuel. Now there's a reason for this. The Korban Pesach, when you sprinkled the blood after you received it on the Korban, it's called the shofach, shvicha. And Rabbi Shmuel holds that zrika is a subcategory of shvicha, and since you do zrika for a chagiga yudalit, but you do shvicha for a korban pesach, the shvicha covers the zrika, and therefore the bracha on the pesach covers the bracha for the chagiga yudalit, but v'lo shvicha b'chlal zrika. Zrika is a subcategory of shvicha, so bracha for zrika doesn't cover shvicha. But l'divrei b'kiva loy shvicha b'chlal zrika, v'lo zrika b'chlal shvicha. According to Kiva, each one is its own thing, and one bracha does not pater the other one. Rav Shimloi ikla pidyon ben. Rav Shimloi went to a pidyon, but boy minei, they asked him, Pshit al pidyon ben, al sher kiddusha mitzvah tzvan al pidyon ben, avi ben mavor. Who makes that bracha? The father, because he's mechuyev in pidyon ben. However, who makes that? Kohen Mevarech? Or Yavin Mavim Mevarech? Who's getting the money? The Kohen. So maybe the Kohen, who's happy that he's getting the money, he makes the Shechianu. Or just like any mitzvah that comes mizman lizman. For example, the first day of Sukkot, when we shake the lulav, we say Shechianu on that mitzvah. Or when we read the Megillah, we say Shechianu. Or when we light the Hanukkah candles. Why is that? Because it's a mitzvah that comes mizman lizman. So maybe here as well, the father should make the Shechianu because it's a mitzvah that comes mizman lizman. So do we say Kohen Mevarech or Avi Ben Mevarech? Kohen Mevarech to come up Kati on Elinei, or Avi Ben Mevarech to Kohen mitzvah. So Lo Avi I didn't have the answer. So this last pasuk we'll wait until we make the siyum. Okay, now that we talk about, we owe a lot of siyumim. We have to do brachas, we have to do Shabbos, and we have to do Pesachim. So we should talk about doing a siyum. We could do it in somebody's backyard. We sit apart. We'll have to discuss that. Make sure everybody gets vaccinated, and
I think everybody in the shoe is vaccinated. No,
I don't hear you, Johnny.
I would sponsor one. I have yourself for my father after Pesach.
So let's discuss it. Let's make sure everybody's comfortable.
We'll talk about
We'll
that.
make a plan.
yeah, we'll make a plan. I think everybody's vaccinated. We can take what you call me. If everybody's vaccinated, with this thing got to come to an end sometime.
Exactly. We'll make a plan. We'll make a plan. It's a good idea.
Okay.
So tomorrow
Very
we'll start. Tomorrow morning we'll start 7:30. We'll learn a little bit, but it's nice.
It's just okay. I don't think I can do it. Okay. Starting a new Gomorrah and not here. Okay.
What do you mean? You said you can start at 7:30.
I get only I have an 8:20. You don't. So.
Oh, 8:20.
Yeah.
You want to do it
What
at
happened-
7:15? You want to do it at 7:15? No, I
Oh.
can't do it tomorrow at 7:15.
Ernie, you cannot do before the
I can't because of this protest that my wife wants to go to for this.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to go to the protest too.
I don't know, but Susie likes to be part of the Novi Shir.
Oh, but she's not part of that. But no, the Gomorrah Shir you can do at 7:15.
No,
tomorrow.
but I when we were getting, it's not. I'm taking the family out. I won't be back at 7:30.
Okay.
Listen, Walter, it's going to be taped tomorrow. I'll see. It's on the Facebook.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay.
Mario, send me the tape.
And we'll see. He sends it to me, so I'll forward it to you too.
What happened to my tea time at Pelican? No tea time.
Okay.
You want to know something? It's wild. To get a tea time there, you have to stay in the hotel there. He went for the whole week.